Hello, we have reached the end of our look at Ruth over the last 5 weeks, and I really hope that you've watched the puppet show version of the story ending with Ruth and Boaz getting married. Ruth listened to Naomi's plan. She and Boaz are married. Ruth and Naomi are provided for and protected. And when baby Obed is born, here we go, it's baby Obed. This means that Ruth is now part of the family line that ends in not only King David, but eventually in Jesus. Ruth has become part of God's family. Now, if you look in the genealogy of Christ, which you can find it in Matthew chapter 1, it's not one of the chapters of the Bible that you normally read as a story, but you can see it says that Boaz was the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth. Obed was the father of Jesse. Do you remember we meet Jesse when Samuel goes along to anoint a new king, and Jesse has lots and lots of fine, strapping sons, but it's the youngest son, David, that's the king. So Ruth and Boaz's great-grandson becomes the great King David. And then if you carry on down through all these names, you get down to Jesus. So who would have thought that Ruth's choices in her life would make such a difference? Like Ruth, we might never know the difference that our lives make to those around us, but we know that God has promised that He's got plans and purposes for each one of us to use us and bless us as we bless other people. If we let Him, He will use us. So even when, things feel difficult or you can't really see what's happening, let's encourage each other to stay close to God, to spend time chatting to Him, listening to Him, reading His word, encouraging each other, trusting Him, and just allowing Him to love us, because your life will make a difference. Now, I am going to cook something today. I'm going to make honeycomb, and in this honeycomb I'm going to put some ingredients in, melt them, and it'll be kind of runny, but then we're going to add one small extra ingredient, bicarbonate of soda, and that is going to change everything, make it foam up and bubble and make the sort of sweet runny mixture go bubbly and honeycomby. Now, in order to make this, first of all, I think I need to put Ruth and Boaz and baby Obed safely out of the way. In order to make this, you will need a saucepan and you will need to use a hob. So you must do this with an adult. We're going to be boiling sugar, and sugar gets extremely hot when it boils. So it's really important to have an adult around you while you're anywhere near the hob and the saucepan. Okay, now last week I forgot to show you the ingredients, so I'm definitely going to do that this week. In fact, I might show you now. These are the things that you will need. You'll need some vegetable oil just to brush the pan. You'll need butter, sugar, I can't read that backwards, golden syrup, and bicarbonate of soda. You will also need some sort of baking tray, this sort of size. It's 8-inch square, but I reckon if you don't have that size, either use a round tin or something similar. It just will be, if it's bigger, your honeycomb will just be thinner, so that's okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oil, where's my oil, into my tin here to grease it. So I'm going to pour some oil in like this, just a little bit. Oh, and then I need a piece of kitchen roll, which I've tidied it away, just to wipe it round, or you can use a fancy pastry brush. Okay, so now when you're oiling your tin, make sure you oil around the sides as well, because nobody likes things getting stuck in pans. Okay, put that to one side, you will need that later. Right, add in the ingredients, all of them apart from the bicarbonate of soda. It's quite hard to say. So you will need your sugar. So that goes in. You will need your butter. That goes in. And you will need your syrup. So that goes in. Nice and sticky. Lovely. All right, now I have put the ingredients and the method on the kids at home holiday session on the website, but just to say, I am going to adjust the timings a bit. So first of all, we're going to melt it all so that it's a sort of runny liquid. Then we're going to turn it up so that it bubbles. It says to leave it for 5 minutes. Now, I'll let you into a secret. I actually made this yesterday and I left it for 5 minutes. It turned a nice dark golden brown colour. It cooled down. I tasted it. It was burnt. So, I'm not going to boil it as long. I'm going to maybe go for 3 minutes. Yesterday I tried to take photos of the colour as I went along, but I think that meant that I ended up burning it. So I'm going to do my best to let you see the colour of the melted sugar as I cook it. But remember, safety first. That's important. But if in doubt, assume it's ready sooner than you think, if that makes sense. Okay, make sure you've got an adult with you, and then we will go and melt it on the hob. See you in a minute. So I'm just gently melting the butter, the sugar, the golden syrup. It's a very pale yellow colour at the moment. In a minute, I'm going to turn it up and let it boil for about 3 minutes. But I think I'm going to go on colour. So it says when it's a sort of golden brown colour, turn it off and mix in the bicarbonate of soda. Okay, that's the colour of the melted butter, syrup and sugar mixture. So I'm going to turn it up so that it bubbles until it's golden brown. Okay, now it's boiling. Oh, I forgot to say, the recipe does say don't mix it while it's bubbling and boiling. Just leave it to bubble and boil. Okay, I'm going to turn it off now. It does still look quite yellow through the camera, but in the reel, it's quite golden brown. So I'm going to add the bicarbonate of soda and see what happens. There's 2 teaspoons worth, and then I'm going to give it a stir in, and it should, yes, it's starting to fizz and foam and expand. Oh, and it's a beautiful honeycomb colour. It's like the inside of a crunchy. Right, I'm going to put the foam down now and pour it into my tin. Okay, I've got my tin handy here, and I'm going to pour my foaming honeycomb in. And leave it to cool. So you can eat honeycomb just as it is, so leave it to cool completely, and then you can chop it up and eat it as bits, or I would be tempted to melt some chocolate and dip my honeycomb in chocolate, or you can crush it all up and sprinkle it over ice cream. But as you do, remember that that one tiny ingredient massively changed everything. Remember Ruth's story. Remember how her actions and her trust changed her life and the lives of those around her. And remember that God is with you. God has plans and purposes for you because he loves you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.